All right. So we are starting to head down the mountain back to the I'm not going to say the word I wanted to use to describe Denver. I'm not very happy about that city right now, but heading back over to Denver. Luckily, we just drive through it to get to the couch pound on the other side of that wonderful place. Um, Great trail. You guys, this is just awesome. It's cool stuff. Love the fact that I could buy a brand new vehicle like this Grenadier and a simple lift, add some skids to it, bolt on some 35s, and we're ready to rock. Like I keep touting shamelessly, is the possibility of doing the portals on it. We've already bought a set of axles to start fitting everything on there, but quite honestly, I want them and Tal wants them really bad. My other partner wants them really bad. Um, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford just to make 3 sets, especially the nodular iron ones. So if you guys truly think you would want to have a portal axle setup for your Grenadier, especially the Quartermaster, which is going to be awesome because that longer wheelbase will probably just be right with 37s. That G-Wagon has 37s on it. It does look a little monster trucky, but it doesn't look bad. And once we get a better bumper on the front of this thing, I think we can make it look right. But if I don't get enough interest on people for the portal, we may have to change some direction here. There is a set of portals out there now, but they're just too tall and they're too wide. So we want to keep this thing much more street oriented, but also be able to tackle stuff like this and not have to worry. Like one of the differences, even Tao, who's never driven that G-Wagon in his life, he hasn't driven a manual in a long time. I just told him deflate the tires more with the CTIS. Again, that's double beadlocks. And even though we're not geared very deep on that vehicle with that manual gearbox, so just hit stuff. Like, just don't worry. There's not a single skid plate on that G-Wagon with portals. And you just don't hit anything. It's unbelievable. You like you just start tensing up and you think it's going to hit the bottom of something and it just doesn't. So I really hope we get enough response from everybody out there. Some people that would be legit about really wanting to do those portals so I can justify the pretty extreme expense to do these things. But anyway, very fun. Love this rig. INEOS has done a phenomenal job. There are some gripes I got about it, of course, but you know, I got plenty of gripes about myself and everybody else too. So when's that ever going to end? Probably never. So, all right, good enough. We're going to keep rolling through here. Maybe we'll do a little wrap up at the very end. If not, I'm looking forward to seeing this video. Hopefully it looks gnarly. This stuff was definitely gnarly, you guys. All right, got done doing some nasty stuff. Woo-hoo. So the verdict is we kind of hit the nastiest part of the trail besides the actual rock garden, which is way, way up there. Overall pretty good, but the Grenadier's a chubby. She's definitely chubby for sure. I already smashed, skid plate's damaged, bumper's damaged, other side of the bumper's slightly damaged. So not too bad. I mean, we're planning on making new stuff anyway, so that's the bonuses of having your own fab shop. But so you can kind of go into it with not freaking out so hard. But this is pathetic. I've got coolers hiding in here, one on this side, one on that side. If we kept pushing this thing any further, we'd actually damage that cooler. Plus there's mounting that goes right up along this where the coolant lines are. So that's not cool. And yeah, I mean, that was a nasty section. Everyone's going to say, yeah, I'm not doing rock crawling. I'm not doing extreme rock crawling, but the reality is some sections just get bad. And I'm okay with the clearance like it is, but this needs to be beefier. This is a heavy rig. We're over 7,000 pounds, right at or over 7,000 pounds as this sits with a full tank of fuel. We're going to do some tweaks. If this thing had portals on it and I could still keep it relatively narrow, oh yeah, game changer. That would just be unreal. It would keep all, because that's the other thing too, you guys, is I'm running 35s. I'm geared stock. It sucks. So this thing is constantly that lugging, that raw, trying to get over things. There's no different ring and pinion ratios or no gear ratios available for this. And for the most part, it does fine on the road. It does hunt for gears up and down the highway a little bit when I'm fully loaded with a lot of, you know, like a parachute that I am. When we build the portals for this thing, we are going to compensate for the gearing and no suspension lift. So no drive shaft issues, no driveline angle issues, no anything. This vehicle is going to think that's completely stock. We'll even, and again, he'll think it has the factory 32, 33-inch tire. Yet it'll be 35s and will be incorporate provisions for doing central tire inflation. That's a big game changer on that. Now, again, overall happy with the truck. Definitely, or the station wagon, sorry. It's chunky, it's wide, solid, but bulletproof drivetrain. I am not worried. As long as we have proper skids all over the place, which we are definitely getting that, this has to be addressed, but we have the differential, or excuse me, the fuel tank skid plate, far more important than anything else on this vehicle. So you got to have it. I don't care who you buy from. We make the best, but buy from the rest. It doesn't matter. You got to have it to make this work out. The diff skids also important, but that fuel tank, you're going to destroy your stuff instantly. Now, if you compare this to, so this is a 2024, and we go all the way back to the great year of 1983, the Mercedes Grenadier. This thing's just awesome. It's just cool. Now, as far as bulletproofness, I think the Grenadier is a little beefier, but the nasty section that we had just gone through, I only did that with the front locker on because I was worried about jamming up my rear axle in one of the wedge that I got in there. So that was the rear diff open and the front diff was locked. The Grenadier, I had both of them and I winched up. We just couldn't get through it with the Grenadier that we had to winch and pull. But when you look at the insane amount, I mean, guys, this differential clearance is nuts. I mean, I'm not a huge dude, but seriously? I mean, I can just sit there and lay like that. You can drive over me all day and I'm probably not going to get hit. You know, we also are cheating too, because this is our own bumper and all that other stuff as well. So we do have the clearance game is definitely in favor of the Grenadier. But if we were going to go head to head and take my stock G-Wagon, I've got a couple more. I was going to take it out here, but we just didn't have enough drivers. And I didn't have skids or rock sliders on that one. You'll see on both the Grenadier and this G-Class, we have our rock sliders. We call it the V-hole sliders. They're just the bomb. You don't hit them very often, but when you do, it won't hurt them. I'm going to say that a factory G-Wagon with a 34-inch mud terrain Toyo on it, with skids on it, is probably going to do a little better maybe than that Grenadier. I think the Grenadier is tougher. I think it's going to hold up more. But the only reason I think the G-Class is going to do slightly better is it's slightly narrower. The visibility is better. And when I say G-Class, I'm talking the solid axle, a 460, 463 series, not the new guy with the independent suspension. They're a little fatter, so that'll be, you know, right on with this. But overall, definitely impressed. You just can't compare to an old school manual transmission, except for the gearing part. You saw where we were struggling making that thing work hard to get over. This thing rolls coal like a freight train, you know, talk about Volkswagen gate. I've got this fuel pump turned up so hot on this thing that when you're doing the old crank and I'm stepping on it, it's just, you know, it's just ghosting the crowd. So anyway, overall nice. This is a beautiful trail up here. We got through before the snow hit, which is phenomenal. Hopefully I could get another video in. I doubt I can, but we're going to try to. We'll do one when there is snow. But the rest of this trail in this Grenadier with 35s and skids and the lift on it, the rock guard, which is the very top of this, is very nasty aggressive. I don't know how we'll fare on that with smashing the front bumper and skid plate and possibly the rear. But overall, this thing would do well. Once we get portals on it It's going to be phenomenal on the highway. It's going to be phenomenal on the trail, the deep sand, the mud, everything. But you know what? These are, how could you go wrong? They're both badass rigs. Compared to anything else today, seriously, this is the bomb.